If you want to know what the real numbers are in the real estate market up here in North Florida's Jacksonville metro area, then this is the show for you. That's right, I do this every week. I've been doing it for 47 weeks. We're in Bubble Watch, week 47, where I go over the real numbers for you and what's happening. What's the active listings right now? What's been sold? What's pending? Look at new construction, look at the interest rates, put it all together in charts for you so we can follow this. That's right, you can follow it all the way from week 1 when I started this 47 weeks ago up until now, and we can see if that bubble is getting ready to burst, because that's the information you want to know, right, before you buy or sell a house. Hey, I'm going to put all this in the charts for you, and I'm getting into it in 3. Hi, I'm Tom KERR, and I'm your host of this weekly show, Bubble Watch. That's right, that's where I look at the real numbers in real estate and put them together for you in charts so that you can follow out to see if this bubble or this crash is really happening, okay? And I don't just go by these headlines, I just don't go by other YouTube videos for sure. I go into my MLS system because you know what? I'm just a regular guy up here in North Florida, and I happen to be a real estate agent, so I have access to an MLS account. And I'm part of the Northeast Florida MLS, and I share that screen with everybody every week at this time. And so we're going to go look at that. Now, if after watching this video you like what you see, give me a thumbs up to help counter some of those thumbs down, because some of the people don't like what they see in this video. And in fact, when I have more good news about real estate, it seems I get more thumbs down or I lose subscribers. And that's another thing. If you want to be part of Bubble Watch Nation, then hit the subscribe button and notifications so you're notified when these videos come. And if you ever want to use me as your real estate agent to help you buy or sell a house, just call me at this number or you can get a hold of me at this email. And either myself or one of my team members will also get back to you. Hey, let's get started with these real numbers, and the first thing we start off with, like always, we look at those active listings. Okay, the active listings for this week today, right now, is 5,402. Let's see how many were sold in the past week. Going back 7 days, 653 sales. How many are contingent taking backup? That's 927. And how many are pending? Well, went pending in the last 7 days. Okay, let's see. 810. Now, there's a lot of you that are new to this show and don't really know this, so I have to repeat it every now and then, is the differences between these two statuses, contingent taking backup and pending. Contingent taking backup, those are people that under this environment with these prices and these interest rates, that's the amount of people that have put in an offer to buy a house, okay? Now what's the contingencies? Well, the contingencies can be the home inspection, an appraisal, or financing. That's usually the top 3 that'll happen. Now, of course, with a cash deal, you just have usually the home inspection, and then we roll on to the sale. Now, after the contingencies met, then the status gets changed to pending, because the contingencies are no longer an issue, and then it'll be pending. Of course, it depends on how people status that in the system on how accurate it is, but for the most part it is pretty accurate. So these are big numbers. So when you put both of those together, the pending and the contingent taking backup, that's the total amount under contract right there that we have, which is a pretty good number. Okay, now let's get back to the rest of those numbers. These are the people that had their house up for sale listed, and they withdrew the house and they took it off the market. So that there we have 80. Now the ones that expired, these are the ones that kept it up there, but their contract expired and they didn't renew it. And that's 185 people. Their homes expired, they did not sell. Okay, now let's take a look and see what those new homes did. And we're gonna look at first, we'll see how many new homes sold in these last 7 days. Well, that's not right. They'd like that to be. I've got to click the right button here. There we go, 164. And how many new homes are active? Because we're being told that the builders aren't building anything, so there's less to pick from. Okay, 1,592. All right, now I go and I look at the foreclosures. Now what these are homes that are in active status to buy, that are status as their foreclosures or pre-foreclosures or short sales, and I separate them, but then I put it all under that umbrella, the foreclosure umbrella. And the reason I was doing this, because last year there was a lot of people saying, man, the foreclosures are coming in full force. Well, we're checking them weekly, and if you're new to the show, you're going to see the chart and see how these foreclosures have done over these last weeks. So let's see what they were this last week. Okay, the amount that are foreclosures that are in the active listings is 16. Pre-foreclosures are 12. And short sales are 13. Okay, in just a minute I'm going to put all those in charts for you, and then we can compare it with the previous weeks, and that's where we follow this trend to see if things are on the downside, getting ready to crash, so that you can make a decision on what you want to do. Or did that bubble, is it about to burst, and how big that bubble is? We look at these real numbers and find out. But let's first look at those interest rates, because we were told that the beginning of 2023 they could be hit 10%. So let's see what they did this last week. All right, here we're at Mortgage News Daily. I'm looking at the 30-year fixed rate, and oh my goodness, look at all those green arrows. That's not supposed to be happening, because all the news headlines says, well, the Fed's been raising the rates. They got more. We've had, what, 8 or 9 or 10 rate increases here this, over this course of this last year. So we're supposed to be seeing, interest rates at 10% now. What the heck? All these green arrows? Well, let's see what those numbers are. All right, last week when I left you, it was 6.59%. Now it's down to 6.18. And look at over there, the prior year was 5.08. We're getting closer to that. And, that's just another point. We're getting closer to what they were when they really started going up. When here I said, hey, we should be double of that, based on what we've been told. All right, VA and FHA are generally less percentage-wise than the conventional there. So let's take a look and see what those rounded out to. Okay, your VA mortgage rates dropped from all those green arrows too. They followed suit, 6.12 down to 5.87 today. And the FHA went a little bit lower. It was at 6.05 at the end of last week. All the green arrows too. And 5.78 is where it ended up. Now, we want to see right now where we're at with the cost per square foot of the houses, and what we do is we look at the Jacksonville metro area just to keep things, consistent through the weeks. So we're going to look at those square footage, because I've been seeing prices kind of going the other way on some instances. All right, and in some cases they're even more than they were a year ago, the median price of the home. So let's see what they were doing, what that chart is. We look at that chart, we look at that, and then we're going to look at the inventory chart. Okay, here we look at the price per square foot, and we're seeing that it's 188. Well, let's look back here. As you can see, it's been 188 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. This is the longest run at the same price. Up here you can see it went for 4 weeks at 194, and then it was 3 here and 3 here. But 5 weeks, so it really stabilized. So now what's it going to do? Is it slowing down here, stopping? Is it going on the way back up? Well, I'll tell you, I've been seeing, prices starting to go back up in some places, and creeping, and we get the multiple offers and offers above asking price. So we got to keep an eye on this. Here, look at the difference from when it, like a year ago, how this chart looked. When you go back the year, look how fast it went up. Now, you know, everyone's saying, you know, we're saying we're in a crash. People say it. I've never said that. I've always said we're in a correction. And this proves it pretty much, because if this was reversed, if this is how it went up and now this is how it's going down, that would be a crash, okay? This would be the bubble up here and this would be the popping point, okay? But now look at how it staggers going down. All right, now let's go to the other side and look at the inventory. Check out the inventory. Let's bring it out here. Still on that downward slope. And what does that mean? That means less houses for sale out there on the market, and then you still have all these people wanting to buy. So this is why this is probably leveling off here, is just because of that, because of all the activity of people still buying. And of course, remember I had shown in past, you know, bubble watches that, you know, just a little drop in the interest rate spurred activity, and look at the drop we've had here here this last week. So there's definitely going to be some activity here. All right, now let's start to put these things in. Look at the charts, because I got all those numbers from before. We'll put them in the charts and see what we got and what it looks like comparing it, you know, before the previous weeks. All right, here we are, week 47. We got actives 5,402. That's a pretty good drop, and it goes along with that graph we just saw where the inventory is dropping. Solds 653. Oh my goodness. Yeah. What do you do, huh? What do you do? Well, hold that thought about these solds. We're coming back to this. So I'm going to go through the rest of these numbers, but I'm coming back to the solds because if you think this is good, I got something to show you. All right, let's look at the rest of those numbers on this chart. All right, contingent taking backup 927, pending 810, for a total of 1737. So we're up with people under contract, okay, by the houses. The withdrawals about the same, 80 expired, 185 expired, a little bit up there. New homes sold 164. Okay, this ain't supposed to be happening, but less homes for sale, new homes sell. Now they say that's what's supposed to be happening, so there we go. And looks like we need to get these sized up a little bit, so for next week, there we go. Now it all looks even. All right, this is what I want to talk about these solds in here. I had somebody ask me about just St. Johns County, if it was included in these sold numbers. And it is, because this is the Jacksonville metro area, so it includes several counties. In fact, when you look at this map, this is pretty much up here in northeast Florida here, Duval County, that's Jacksonville, and then the metro area goes all the way down these other counties. So basically it's 9 counties. So if we start checking them off, so right there you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 counties, which pretty much make up this Jacksonville metro area. My MLS board that I belong to is Northeast Florida MLS, okay? So let me explain how these boards work. Okay, this is a chart here. It shows all these different boards throughout Florida, okay? And what you'll notice here is, just like we saw those different counties, okay, here we've got Amelia Island, Nassau County Board of Realtors, okay? Another one we've got on here, Flagler County, okay, see, they have their own. What else we got? Here we are, Northeast Florida, that's the one I belong to, and that's the largest here. And then you have St. Augustine and St. Johns County Board over there. So you've got all these other smaller MLSs, okay? At one time, I mean, this is how it was because you didn't have the internet, okay? So you had to go into an office, and these people, they had the properties that were there. There wasn't so much cross-selling like there is now. Now, I sell over there. I sell in Palm Coast, St. Augustine, okay? You know, Jacksonville. I'm all over the place. All over the coast. I even go to Gainesville, you know, Florida too, even though this shows about the northeast part here of the Jacksonville metro. But I sell over in Gainesville and also west of Gainesville too. And because of that, my MLS that I'm pulling, it's not seeing the numbers that maybe these members of these other boards are selling. If they come over and cross-sell, it's not picking it up, and it doesn't pick up all the sales that are in those other counties, only the ones that are in our MLS. So what there is there's this thing called MLS Advantage. Here, take a look. Okay, here we are in the MLS Advantage site, and what I did was I populate all these counties, and what this does is it's where other MLS boards share their listings with it. So what it's going to do, we put in here sold for the last week, and this will give everything, all these counties that I just showed, including my MLS and the other ones if anybody else sold there. So let's take a look and see what it says. As it's spinning, we're going to look up right in this area here and watch for the number. 761 total properties sold. All right, now remember, we're at 653 here in just mine, but then we add the rest of those, 761. I mean, that shows how huge this is for all that area. So just add another 100 or so sold units. I mean, this is really dramatic. And what I'm going to do now, this MLS Advantage, they're not set up the same the way that I look at the numbers like I do with ours. So if I just switch to it now, it wouldn't really be consistent with everything we've been doing for the last 47 weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm still doing like I've been doing it to keep everything consistent so that we can see those numbers and all. But I'm going to show this also every week, just what the solds are here all the way around, so we get an idea. Because, man, I mean, that's a lot of solds. That's 1 week, okay? That's a lot. All right, let's look at these other charts now. Okay, the foreclosure chart, as you can see, week 47, 16 foreclosures, up a couple, pre-foreclosures down 1 to 12, short sales up 1, 13, a total of 41. We don't see that barrage of foreclosures that was supposed to be coming in 2023. All right, this one here is the one where we look at homes sold at 500,000 and above. 24%, 1/4 of the homes sold were sold at 500,000 and above, okay, in this last week. Homes that sold under list, 73%, about the same there. Homes that sold at list dropped to 15%, and homes that sold above list, 12%. I'm thinking that above list number, how it really shot up, is it's going along with what I'm seeing of these multiple offer situations, okay, and that's pushing people to go above list. Now, some go higher than others. Some might just be a few $1,000s. Some may be like $10,000, $20,000, or $50,000. Depends on the house and depends on how many offers. But we're starting to see. So we gotta watch this. Is the above list price now? Is that a trend going up, or is it just something that's just for a couple of weeks here? And we're seeing. That's why we do this every week, to see what happens. All right, let's look at those other charts. Okay, new construction numbers. Homes that sold under list, 78%, about the same there. Homes that sold at list, 11%. And then homes that sold above list, 11%. So those numbers for new construction stayed pretty much the same as they've been here for the last couple weeks. All right, now let's check to see how did people pay for those homes. All right, 28% paid with cash. Okay, 43% conventional mortgages, 16% FHA, 11% VA, and 2% other. I mean, it's not a third like it was there for a while paying cash, but still that's up there. It's over a fourth. So that's still a lot of people paying cash for the homes. And if you're in a situation where you're going FHA or VA and it's up against the buyer and you're up one of those cash people, if they're paying about the same as what you're offering for that house, and you don't have a good chance of getting it, and that's quite a bit of people paying cash. All right, time for House of the Week, and I'm going to do the same as I did last week. I got 2 houses to show you, 2 different scenarios. One, the regular, deal, and then another one here where they went above the list price. So first let's start off with the bargain. Okay, this house here listed for $471,000 was on the market 282 days. That was in May of last year, okay? And if you've been following this show, you know that May is the worst time to have bought a house. And who was buying those houses and holding on to them this long was those iBuyers. And this is another one. So what did they end up selling it for after all that? Well, first, as we can see, that the price here was $368,000 that they had lowered the price to, and they got the offer and sold it for $362,000. $109,000 below the price. You know, folks, if you're looking for something up here in the Jacksonville area and you're in like this ballpark in the price range for the house like that, and you want to know if there's any more of these houses that they bought in May that are out there that you may be interested in, give me a call, okay? And I'm not going to go through and put the charts here because it's irrelevant, you know, because most of you probably, you know, aren't in the market for one of those. But if you are, give me a call and I'll look them up for you, and then I can shoot them to you, you know, if you want to decide. All right, what did they pay for it? They bought it for $405,800, as you can see back there. Well, actually it says, okay, it's sale date. They're saying in April. I thought that it was May it was there, but so it was April. Okay, so we're a little off there. They listed it in May. That's what it was. They put it on the market in May. They bought it there in April, then they listed it in May. And then what happened in that time delay that they had, if they had put it on the market a week after they had got it, they probably would have been better off, because May it really was when things really went to hell. Okay, let's look at the next house now. Now this one here went above, and let's see what the deal was with this house. This house here listed for $450,000. Okay, it is it is being sold as is with no repairs, is what they were saying in their notes, okay? This one here was on the market for 17 days, okay, a few days out, and ended up at $455,000. So the people put in an offer of $5,000 above what they were asking for it, and they got it. What probably happened in this scenario is it's on the market 17 days, so these people weren't doing a highest and best thing. They were just, you know, there was probably a flow of people. Then probably near the end there, they had multiple offers. So what if the realtor has any ethics at all, they will tell the other realtors that have been seeing the house or showing the house, hey, we got an offer just in case. I do that, okay? I always do that. And so it's just fair to the other buyers. And they probably, once they knew it was in a multiple offer situation, people started driving the price up, and that's where we ended up there at $455. So there's probably a lot of people that were, you know, probably trying to get it, you know, like around $400 or this and that, and then some that would give an asking price, and this person just bumped it a little bit and they lucked out and got it. All right, what did these people pay for it when they bought the house, and what was the appreciation they made on it in this downturned market last year? Okay, now these people here, if they bought it far enough back, they gained all that appreciation from 2021 and the beginning of 2022, but then they took a hit here in the last like 8 months. All right, let's see if they still made out all right. Okay, these folks bought the house in 2014, and you can see the other numbers there. This was a house built in 1973, so you can see in 1973 it was $46,000. You kind of watch the progression of the price here. And from 1973 to 1996, then it went to $120, and then these people picked it up in 2014. Of course, there was a hit in that market in 08 to 2010, so that's why it didn't go any higher than that. And so they bought it at $217. So when we look at the appreciation calculator, 217, sold it for about $455 over 8 years, 5 months, 9.2% appreciation. And folks, that was pretty good. When they were nervous when everything was coming down last week. Of course, they're probably watching the headlines and the YouTube videos that said the market's crashed, market's gonna crash. 2023, forget it. Don't buy nothing, don't do anything. Well, the thing is, if you're listening to those folks and you were looking to buy and you held off right now and rates started to come down, but now prices are going up, or that house that you really wanted in that area, or that particular house now is sold because of all these influx of buyers coming to Florida. And of course, I've shown in the past Bubble Watch, it's not just moving to Jacksonville, they're moving Miami, Orlando, Tampa. But what happens is people in those areas, South Florida, the West Coast and Orlando, they get pushed up here when it starts getting too busy down there, so it just creates more business here. So after seeing all that, you know, you have to decide. I'm not saying we can't go into a crash or the bubble could burst. I mean, it can happen. Anything can happen, right? And all that. I'm just saying what I'm seeing right now as we're following this weekly. I haven't seen it, and what I'm seeing is this correction, and we're almost a year. Okay, we're at week 47. Next week's 48. We're getting close to that 52 week, that 1 year anniversary. So keep watching, because you're going to look at these charts, and it's going to help you decide whether you're going to buy or you're going to sell.